In this video, we're going to be diving into how I've lost hundreds of thousands and how I've made millions, mistakes I've made along the way, and what you can do as an entrepreneur to ensure you have a good foundation to achieve your goals. If you're new here, my name is Bobby Schell. I'm a lifelong entrepreneur, starting my own business at the age of 11. I had a few successful ventures and I'm working on more, and I want to share just some of the key things that have changed my life thanks to my father and other entrepreneurs I've met along the way. So let's dive in. So first and foremost, starting a business. One of the best things you can do is to start or acquire a business. I've been going on podcasts talking about this, so I'll link to some of those in the notes. But most importantly, I started my own business at the age of 11. My father taught me for every 100 no's you get, you'll get a yes. So, out of every 100 doors I knock on, 99 say no, get one yes. That's a 1% conversion rate. So chase the 100 no's because you're guaranteed to get at least one yes likely within that approach. And it worked for me. My first year, I had over 10 yards. He helped me go door to door and started my own lawn care company. It was game changing. What it allowed me to do and what my father helped me do was walk through finances. We would take, and forgive me if the math's not perfect here, but take 35%, put it in savings, invest 25% back into my business. I'd give 10% to the church. 20% I would spend and have fun and save. And then the other 10% was allocated to something else. So it really taught me how to not only generate business, but how to think about money and finances. And when I was a child, we just wrote it on a piece of loose leaf paper, pen and pad, and just laid it all out. Nowadays, you can do all this in a spreadsheet, but I think the big takeaway is, number one, being willing to take a bunch of no's in order to get those yeses. And part two, when you start making money, manage the finances, understand it, and start to place money into buckets so that you can be successful. There is a framework called Profit First, which you can Google and learn more about. It's a way to approach finance and banking that you can utilize to help with this. One thing I experienced after graduating college and getting a great job, I started earning a lot more. I had a high-paying sales job. Sales is a great way where you are not limited by a W-2 income. If you work for a salary, you're pretty limited on how much you can make. But if you work in sales and earn a commission, you now have the ability to break through a ceiling and earn as much as you need. And whenever you start doing that at a young age, I was between the age of like 24 to 32, you might start spending that money on things you don't necessarily need or kind of recklessly investing it in ways that aren't really wise. Back in 2018, back when the Wall Street Bets era was really popping off before it got super popular, I lost close to $30,000 trading options. They say the first one's free. I hit the jackpot on a few, made thousands of dollars across a few hours, multiple times in a row, then started making bigger bets and just lost it all. If you remember when Facebook went down drastically in one day, that was the day. You can look at the chart and you'll see it on Facebook. So don't gamble and trade options. There are things that you can do in relation to managing an HSA, which is a health savings account, to set money aside in a tax-deferred way. You can set up a Roth IRA and put in up to $6,500 a year. You can also set up a traditional or Roth 401k, which gives you the ability to deploy money into retirement either before or after taxes. So you can watch a lot of videos about that online and learn, but really focus on saving in these ways and being smart. If you know me and you followed me at all for a while, I'm a big believer in Bitcoin, and I believe saving in Bitcoin is going to, outperform potentially a lot of retirement accounts and other assets, but that's not necessarily what this video is about, but it'll play a role, so we'll talk more about that. So just being intentional with your money and not, playing as many games and getting reckless the way a lot of us young folks do, and we start making a little bit of money. So before I had the job and when I was in college, I want to dive back and tell a story. I had a negative net worth for a while. Now, I'm blessed to be where I am in a very decent financial position, to say the least. But I had a negative net worth for a while, and how I dug out of that hole, in my mind back then, it was deep internet marketing, social media. Back in like 2007 and 8, I just would go out and get 2 jobs, work 80 hours a week, grind until I could pay off my debt, get a little savings. Back then, if I could get, $1,000 in the bank, $2,000 in the bank, that was life-changing for me. So I would just try to get into the positive net worth, quit the second job, keep the best job that I had, the one I enjoyed that really paid the bills, and get rid of the other one just to dig out of financial trouble. And that tended to work really well. Nowadays, there's a lot more you can do besides this, and with tools like this, like with YouTube, there's a lot you can do to learn quickly about finance, how to build skills, and to upgrade your job So do that. Be intentional to learn new skills and build content online. It'll make a very big difference with your employer. They'll recognize you. They'll see, hey, this person can bring value, and it'll be a big differentiator. But negative net worth, that's a really bad thing. You want to dig out of that and make a big impact and do what you can to change it. So I want to talk about budget and strategy. I was working last night on my 2024 goals, building out a budget and game plan, savings plan, retirement for my family. I have 2 kids, so I'm really thinking about this now that I've been married for a few years and have children. And as I was putting it together, I was watching a leadership video, and Jordan Peterson was talking in it, and he was saying that psychologically, people with a budget or a game plan or strategy, they are 10% more productive on the job. And last night I stayed up till nearly midnight building this, but when I woke up this morning, I was on fire. I was really focused, more than normal. And a lot of people, they love, looking on Zillow at houses they can't afford, or floating around in e-commerce shopping, loading their cart and not purchasing. And you're probably guilty of this because a lot of us are. Window shopping essentially online. But whenever you set a budget and you know your strategy, you don't really deviate or think about these things as much. And I've been guilty of this, over the probably last 5 to 6 years, just looking at Zillow at things I want or shopping online, and I don't pull the trigger, but I'm thinking about it, and it just is a distractor from you being productive and adding value in whatever endeavor you're in. And after doing that report last night, I was just more focused and on fire than I've been in a long time. And it was just unique that I heard that quote from Peterson that people with a budget and a game plan are 10% more productive in the workplace, which I found so fascinating, and I can feel it in my life today. So that's pretty meaningful and powerful. Lastly, in this video, I want to just break down what concentrated bets are. If you look at wealth and how wealth is distributed, who is rich in the world, it's typically the entrepreneur. It's the person who takes risks. Why? Well, 99% of jobs in America are from a small business. An entrepreneur taking a risk, starting a business, and building a dream for them and their family. Now, if you're a W-2 worker, which is core to the success of America, we have to have W-2 workers. You can earn a great living, but typically, like we said earlier, you need to be in sales or something where there's not much of a ceiling to really build wealth. But with entrepreneurship, there's government incentives in place when it comes to tax incentives, because you're reinvesting in the productivity of our nation, building businesses. But also there's incentives from the government to buy and acquire businesses. And acquisition entrepreneurship is a really big and popular growing thing in the world, because there's 10,000 baby boomers a day retiring, and they have $7 to $10 trillion worth of wealth locked into their businesses. So acquiring a business may be something that's good for you. If you have an expertise in operations, marketing, sales, or maybe you have an expertise in a specific vertical on a local small business, and this could be HVAC, any form of contracting, plumbing, being an electrician, pest control, you name it. But if you have a skill set in one of those areas and you think you could handle it, there's a lot of resources online you can learn. Comment below. I'm happy to share as many as possible and pass along to you guys. We'll make other videos about that. But that's a great way to really break out and break free and start earning. So concentrated bets. I brought up entrepreneurship because a lot of times when you're an entrepreneur and you run your own business, you have to go all in on your business to be successful. There's not a lot of room to just be taking risks, doing other things. It takes a lot of time and investment. And the same thing is with investing in stock markets or in real estate or in venture capital. Typically a concentrated bet on something you really believe is going to be successful. If it becomes successful, it tends to pay out better than just diversifying into a large basket of investments or goods. If you have a retirement account, you're probably just buying ETFs or managed funds, and it returns 8 to 12% a year. Pretty normal. But with concentrated bets, it's not uncommon to make 30% to 100% or much more yearly. If you look at venture, you can see some of those numbers. But this is why people make concentrated bets, or they start a business only investing in themselves for accelerated returns. Concentrated bets build wealth. Diversified investing preserves wealth. So once you're very rich and you're a multimillionaire, you want to preserve that wealth. You're not really taking as many risks. You're looking to keep it and grow it, because for all intents and purposes, if you're cash flowing, $500,000 a year off of a large investment portfolio, anyone can live on that in America and live an incredible life. You can obviously spend more, but once you're at that point, you may as well preserve it and you can live any type of lifestyle you want. For those of us that are not ultra rich like that and we need to save and find our way to where we can build a sustainable lifestyle off of investments. The goal is to make concentrated, educated, and very intentional bets and investments on things that you believe will be game-changing to the future, whether it be investing in your own business, investing in Bitcoin, or potentially a startup, whatever it may be. So lastly, I made a lot of mistakes trying to self-direct my retirement. I made mistakes trying to do options trading. I made some mistakes buying land, but the things that have never steered me wrong are the investments that I truly study deeply and spend a lot of time understanding the nuance of why they're important and why they're valuable, as well as investing in my skill sets as an individual and an entrepreneur. I would encourage you to learn about entrepreneurship, study it. My channel, I want to educate and help other people, tackle these things. If there's topics you would like covered, please share below. But I'm gonna keep doing this weekly. I really want to serve you guys and help you and just pass along what I've learned and build a community of people, like-minded folks who want to transform their communities, empower others, and take care of our families so that we can have a wonderful future. So I appreciate you tuning in. We'll be putting out a video every Tuesday or so, but I'm excited to keep going with you guys, and I appreciate those who are following. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, comment, but truly appreciate you, and I look forward to meeting again next week. Talk soon.